Hey, what's up? Benny Ryan here, and I'm actually going to be talking about the ACOLYTE, which is like the latest Star Wars series that pretty much got canceled by Disney Plus and has been really getting like the fan overload of like bring this show back. And personally, for me, how do I feel ACOLYTE compares to like all of the other Star Wars series out there? And here's the thing about me: I have not seen Andor, which most people have said is the best series either outside of The Mandalorian or even better than that. Because mainly I didn't like the guy in Rogue One, so I'm like, why do I want to watch a whole series about this guy? Even though people have been saying, like, this is so good. But going with the Acolyte, I actually thought this series was on a good start. I actually liked the first episode a lot. I especially love the whole bar scene, which is almost right out of Crouching Tiger, Hitting Dragon. And I didn't even realize it was Carrie-Anne Moss playing the Jedi. I'm like, wow, they got like Trinity from Matrix to be a Jedi. Uh, but here's the problem. After that first episode, I really thought the story, while like trying to be like more of like a single kind of story that's outside of this whole realm of like the Jedi Knights and going to like a very distant past location, I thought was really good setting up. The problem was I had really no interest in like a lot of these characters. I thought like out of everyone that was in this entire series, I thought Saul was like the most interesting character because it's pretty much like a very flawed Ben Kenobi that really did not have like that much of a dramatic arch from the original prequels and the original trilogy. I didn't think that Obi-Wan Kenobi was really that deep of a character. However, I did think Saul had like a lot of potential, and I thought his like whole drama, his whole his whole series arc was actually season arc was actually a kind of like more intriguing idea. The problem with is that like as much as everybody behind the scenes wants to blame like, oh, they hated us because we're too woke, I don't mind you finding like an alternative idea. I have a problem when it's like so weakly written. It's almost the same issue I had with like the Mulan live action remake, because you take away all this kind of character, it's very boring. Do not pick an agenda. Do not pick like an argument to like be made against this world's views or the other views. Have interesting characters, and that was the biggest problem for me with the series, is that the characters are boring. You literally have like the first Wookiee Jedi. I don't even know what his name is because he like left so little of an impact, and that should not be the case. You should be so interested in this, but as much as I like there's a Wookiee Jedi, there's nothing to do with him. They literally erase him out of existence, and it's like, why did you even have him if you didn't have a point? However, I did think the final episode really showed potential of where this series could have gone. I thought they really did a good job at like really going down a dark path. This was kind of like Revenge of the Sith if a far better writer was involved. This was like the first time in anything Star Wars that I thought the dark side was really giving some empathy, and you really now see the Jedi as like a very like bureaucratic and like very like stiff in their traditions, that's really not trying to like destroy like society, but it's really causing like a lot of troubles that do not need to exist. And I thought like they were really starting to like arch into like interesting avenues that really should have been the entire series. That's really the only thing that I thought they could have done with like a second season, that like you could build on that whole idea, the whole fact that like we're looking at this person and now she's suddenly turned to the dark side, and we're not only like sympathetic, we're actually saying like, that's really interesting. I have never seen like the Jedi as the baddies realistically, and this really worked. It really gave like a different perspective on where these characters could go and where this society could go. I'd be interested in seeing like where they go with Rey in the new films, whether or not they could build on that. And I thought that's an interesting idea. So like, do I want a season 2? If you built on that writing, I really think that like get the agenda bull out of the way and focus on characters. That's really the problem that like most Star Wars is having an issue with. They're not giving us interesting character arcs. They're not giving us interesting writing. They're just like focusing on like what's been done before, and it does need to grow. And that's really the only complaint I really have about the Acolyte. So season 2, sure, yeah, definitely. If you can like keep up the better writing.